Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the Diamond DA42 by Cal's Production. It is this one is currently that we're looking at is the DA42 VI. It goes 175 miles an hour. That's in knots. 18,000 feet it can get up to, 9 hours of duration, 1,225 nautical miles. It's a little bit faster than the second model that comes with it, which is the Diamond DA42 TDI, the diesel version, which does about 155 knots. Still has a max altitude of 18,000 feet, 10 hours of duration, which is pretty good, and 13,050 miles of nautical miles it can go, which is pretty impressive. I don't think you'll be able to hold your bladder for 10 hours straight. I have heard of these even going as far as 12 hours of duration. It is an absolutely beautiful aircraft. Today we're going to take a look at it. If you guys will join me, I would love to have you aboard. Today, here's the two different variants we have. As you can see here, there's the information for the diesel version of it, and if you click here, we could take a look at that as well. Now, you don't get as many liveries with this. You just get basic couple of them. But the good news is that Cal Production actually does have livery packs for free that you can download from their website. I think it's off of Orbix. I'll have to double check that. I'll try to link a link in this video below for you guys. Today we're going to be flying it. We're going to be over in the Bahamas area, like well, island area. Well, we're going to take it for a little bit of a test run, see how it flies, see how it handles. And let me just go back to the hangar here, and I'll show you the next liveries for this one as well. So here are some of the other liveries of this aircraft. You got your classic look here. Of course, you can't go wrong with a little bit of blue lining in there, right? Your split. Dreamline. Here's the Dreamline version of it, which is pretty slick in my opinion. And then you got the silver, which man, this looks like you know, suit and tie business. Let's go. And of course, one of the favorite ones, the red one. I mean, I love a good red plane any day of the week, right? All right, let's go ahead and we'll get into the map of the world here, and we'll put ourselves on the ground. We'll give it a little bit of test, fly it, see how it flies, see how it handles, and just give you my thoughts and opinions of it as we go here. It's a pretty well-made aircraft, and I'm looking forward to test flying it with you guys here today. I'm just going to turn on some of my secondary cameras here. So once it gets loaded up here, we'll get it started. It's pretty simple to start. Now, it is one plane that I wasn't sure if I was going to get or not. Now, if you want to talk pricing of this aircraft, I did write that down as well. Now, with taxes and everything, I paid for US $30.28 for this, for the two models of the aircraft, which in my opinion, I did fly it once already in a live stream, and I gotta say it is a fantastic aircraft, and it's very beautifully modeled, which we'll take a look at right here. Let's go ahead and just get underneath the gear, because you know, as they say, if the gear is nice, the rest of the plane is going to be just as good, right? The attention to detail of this thing is mind-blowing. It's absolutely amazing. The carbon fiber. Now, they did say that the structure of this has, I think, a bracing in it, right? So there was a couple crashes that the people did not lose their lives. They were not feeling good afterwards, but the good news is that they did survive it. And one of these aircrafts like this, with a twin engine, it is usually, you know, you'll have a fatality crash when something like that happens. But with this one, they were able to walk away with their lives, which is pretty impressive. They do use these for flight training in a lot of schools here in the U.S. and overseas as well. I think more overseas. This is a newer aircraft. I mean, it is beautifully made, very, very well modeled, as you can see here. Let me just step on the rudder for you just so you can See a little bit of the animation of it. I mean, even the trim tab here is very, very nice in detail, right? Look at that. I mean, really, you can't go wrong with it. Beautifully made. I gotta say, it's nice. I'm not a big fan of the diamonds, to be honest with you, right? But after purchasing this and doing a little bit of a flight with it, I really am starting to fall in love with it, and you'll see why in this video today. So, let's go ahead and jump back inside, and I'll show you a couple of features here. This windows do open. The canopy opens as well. You do have a second window on that side. And in the back here, the interior is just as nice as the exterior. You see the Cal production seats there. I love that. I don't know if they're called Cal production. I think it's called Cal's production, I believe. Also, if you press these, you can put headphones on as well. Let's take a look at this thing from the air here. It is beautifully made. I mean, really, you can't go wrong with an aircraft like this, right? And look at these massive engines. Now, it's hard to get this thing into a flat spin because the way they designed it with the wing being so long and everything, which is pretty cool that they made this the way they did. I'm really, really looking forward to kind of flying this thing around and seeing how it goes. I think I'm going to take it for like a tour around. I might do a world tour with this thing, man. I really wanted to do a world tour, and maybe we can, or at least do a tour around the islands or something, because this plane is super nice. I'm really impressed with it. And I like that it has a little bit of the old school with the new school in it, you know. A lot of people are not into the glass cockpit, but I gotta say, it's kind of cool because you still have your steam gauges up here with a little bit of new and old school mix, which I'm pretty into. I like it. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead. It's not too difficult to start up. There are a couple of procedures that you can do with it. Now, I don't know everything about this plane. We'll probably do a follow-up video on it once we learn it more. However, for now, we'll do the basics, which is get it started here. Put the master switch on. It's pretty easy as far as what I know. We could do a ECU test as well, but we're going to get the engine started before we do the ECU test. So we just flick this engine here, and let's get on the outside view for the startup here, so we can just see what it looks like with the animation of the start. Okay, pretty much basic, right? It's nothing to write home about right now with the sound, but you'll see in a minute here, it does actually sound pretty throaty and pretty good. I did not fly the diesel one yet, so I don't really know anything about that one. We'll have to just take a look at it one at a time. Let's go ahead and flick the next engine, and usually we would have to flick it to the left side here to start. There we go. There we go. Left engine started. Now the heater here, this is the pitot heat. When you do put the pitot heat on, guys, we're supposed to put our nav and our strobe light, but I forgot to do that, so that was my fault, okay? When you do put the pitot heat on, it will overheat, right? So I'm going to put the pitot heat on, and you're going to see it turn back on that light. And now, in order for you, see it says stall fail? That's normal. It's overheating because we're on the ground, we're not moving. You can turn it off and then turn it back on, and that will go away. But really, I'm just going to leave it off for now until we get up in the air, because it's going to keep going off anyway. These are your fuel pumps. You don't need them for startup. Apparently, they will work in regardless, so that's always good to know. Let's see. We'll uncage that, right? I didn't know that you can uncage that. Okay, and then we can do the ECU test on both. That should start their process. Okay. Alright, there we go. And this is your cabin heat and defrost on this side, and your cabin heat on that side. That's your brake there. These are your fuel tank levers for cutoff and all the rest of it. Pretty nice indeed. Here's the pitot heat for the button itself, right? So pretty good. Let's see what the animation looks like for the flaps down and flaps up. Now, it does have a checklist as well up here. However, I don't know if they light up or anything like that. You know, it does give you a pretty good checklist. And I believe you can download from Diamond's website the actual manual of this aircraft for free. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, like, you know, starter key. If you go to the I section, it doesn't work yet. So that's one thing. Also, I did notice when I put a flight plan with Microsoft Flight Simulator, it didn't quite go in correctly with the GPS inside of this aircraft. So I'm not sure if that's something they're working on or not. So, but it does work. The systems work great. It does follow a flight plan, and it's very active. Now, let's take a look at what it looks like at night here. I'm just going to go to the night setting here, and we're not going to go, we'll go full dark, and the two lights are right up top here, these little scrolls. So that's night lighting here. Let's see what it looks like. That's with the brightness all the way up on both of them. It does have a little bit of shadowing here on the switches that I don't know if that's normal, if that's something they're going to fix. And if we go to the outside lights, these are a landing light and taxi light, and then you got your strobe lights and your navigational lights that are on here. So pretty nice lighting, you know, nothing too fancy, but it looks relatively good. It does what it's supposed to. It's not overly blinding, and I'd have to say overall it's pretty nicely made. All right, with that being said, let's turn those lights back off. And let's take this brake off here, and let's take it for a little bit of a flight. Now, to my understanding, you do not need to alright, there we go. You do not need to you see what I mean? When you put in the engines, it is like night and day what it sounds like. Just a little bit of the engine. Now, in real life, I was told that the aircraft itself is a little bit difficult to taxi, but up in the air, it's a pleasure to fly, which we're going to test it out, stall it, and see if we can get any kind of flat spin with it, which I don't think we can. This thing is pretty much very hard to flat spin, okay? We're just going to taxi out here to this side. We'll be coming back to this airport. We're just going to kind of cruise around and circle it and come back down for a landing. But I gotta say, overall, I love it. Okay, I wasn't gonna buy this at first. We do have the Diamond DA42 in the stream already for free with the glass cockpit. It doesn't have the steam gauges, and I thought, well, we already have a Diamond. But you know what? I'm really glad I did purchase this aircraft. It is night and day from the one that comes for the default. This thing is proper, especially the flight characteristics. When I was landing it, you really got to be on top of it with landing, because if you take too much power out, it will just drop. And if you take the right amount, you can get it to kind of float down the runway with the ground effect. So you really got to kind of power manage correctly when you get to lower speeds and you're landing, which I thought is always a good thing. Okay, I mean, overall, a plane could look good, but if it doesn't fly good, it's not really worth the money, right? So flight it's all about how it flies, right? I mean, it can look good all at once. If it doesn't fly good, it ain't worth it, right? So here we go. I'm putting a little bit of left rudder in now. We're getting up to speed. We still got that stall warning again. That's for the pitot heat. I'm putting a little bit of left rudder in now. We don't have any flaps on. Supposedly you do not need flaps for takeoff with this aircraft. We got power all the way in here. And we're going to start pulling back there. There we go. Alright, let's take a look. I love the gear animation, how the back gear goes up and then the front gear. It sounds amazing too. If you guys are not interested in hearing it, you can click on these buttons there, and it's like putting headphones on. So if you're not interested in listening to it hum the whole time that you're flying, you can quiet it out by pressing those. Little beautiful details of an aircraft that really makes it night and day different, you know. So we're just going to go ahead and climb up a little bit here over the island, and we'll turn slightly. I don't want to go too far away from the island. We'll just climb and turn here. We'll put about 3,000 in. The autopilot does work fairly well, so we'll just use that to circle. Let's see. So we'll do autopilot on, right? And we'll do VS mode. And then we will put heading mode on. It's turning us the wrong way right now, but that's all right. We're gonna get it to work. So there's the airport we just took off from, and let me bring down our rate of climb. Is way too much there. There we go. We're almost at 3,000 feet. We'll do a little bit of stall testing over the ocean here, and then we'll come back down for a landing. This plane is properly nice. I don't know what it feels like as far as the diesel one yet, though. I have not flown that. All right. Alright, well that's good. We'll take the autopilot back off here. It does work proper, so what we'll do is we'll take out the power and we'll nose it up to 25 degrees here. I'm going to pull back, pull back, pull back. It's just wanting to drop the nose, and now it dropped the nose. Okay, so it's not doing anything except for dropping the nose there, which is very nice. Alright, let's try one more time. This time I'm going to do pushing it all the way up with the power and nose all the way up. Let's just see what it can do for bleeding off the speed and which way it wants to turn. Alright, there we go. I'm holding it back to the right. It wants to snap slightly to the left. Nose is coming back down. So, really, really, really hard to get this thing to push it into a snap or a stall. The next thing I was going to try is I'm going to nose down, I'm going to pull back, and then I'm going to kick the rudder on the left and just see if I can make it a little bit more of a violent attempt to do so. So I'm going to pull power all the way back, nose up, left rudder, and see what we can do. See, you really got to like actively try to make this plane fall out of the sky. Like, and it's super, super easy to recover there, as you can see. Okay. I mean, and that's at low altitude, so I don't know how accurate that is to real life, if it works that way in real life like that, but man, that's pretty impressive, okay? If this was any other twin, we would have been crashed already. Like, it would have just fell out of the sky. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you did fly this, did you purchase it? Do you like it? Is it realistic? Give us your thoughts and opinions, and we would love to hear what you guys have to say about it as well. I'm really curious to see if anybody else enjoys this aircraft. I gotta say, I'm falling in love with it every time I fly it. The more I fly it, the more I love it. Anybody else's thoughts would be greatly appreciated. I'm kind of curious if I'm the only one. Alright. I would imagine not, but let's go ahead and turn back around. I don't want to make this video too long, and we'll take it down for landing. It's beautiful. I gotta say, the flight modeling, the characteristics, the handling, the sounds, all of it is just really nice. Really nice. I'm really impressed. You know, this was not one that I was planning on purchasing or reviewing, but I'm certainly glad that I did, and I don't regret anything. $30.28 with taxes, a U.S. money. I don't know how much they charge for it.
Check gear.
Other places. I believe in Australia it was 26 something in Australian money. I thought it was $40. I made the mistake of assuming that it was $46. I thought it was a lot of money for a plane of this nature. But I want to take that back. I didn't realize that in the U.S. it was only $30, which is very, very reasonably priced, I would say, for such a great aircraft. Now, I know my landing here is way off and we're doing horrible, but I'm just going to try to do the best I can with this landing. 54 knots.
500.
I like the call-outs. I like the sound. It handles very nicely. It's very, very responsive too. What the flight controls, like, you just put the power in and it just goes right in there. Like, no questions asked. It will just start going right in. So, ooh. Ooh, boy. A little bit of a rough landing there, but hey, it is only my second time ever landing this thing, so yeah. I hope you guys can tell me what you think about this and enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel, smash the thumbs up. I'm an aviation enthusiast channel. I like to review aircrafts and do live streams, and we're going to do a lot more on the channel. So if you stay tuned and check us out, we're growing almost 40,000 strong, guys. Couldn't do it without you, so I just want to thank each and every one of you guys who have been supporting me from the beginning. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And also, happy Valentine's Day to each one of you guys out there. I hope everybody is having a good time for Valentine's Day. And yeah, let me know again what your thoughts are in the comments, and I will wrap this video up. We'll get over here, shut it down, and call it a night. Beautiful aircraft indeed. Alright, there we go. We're going to have to look at it even further. These are the fuel cutoff. You can do it this way if you like. However, I don't think that's the proper way, right? I think you're supposed to shut the engines off like this. But these are a fuel cutoff if you want to turn those off as well. And of course the master panel, that, all the lights. There you go. Alright, there you have it. That is the Diamond DA. I love it. I think it's awesome. Put the flaps up there. That is nice, right? Okay. Sorry. The little attention to details. But I would have to say overall it's a beautiful aircraft. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. And I love to hear your thoughts and opinions of this aircraft. And as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.